For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Dumb Marks podcast. Tonight, we're going to be doing draft night number 2 for the WWE Draft. As you know, we did a mock draft for SmackDown night 1 on Friday. So the last time you saw us, it was me and Steve. I was drafting for SmackDown. Steve was drafting for Raw. Steve, I think we're going to flip it up a little bit tonight and switch the brands. How do you feel about that?
We'll switch it up, get a different perspective for the shows on night 2 of the draft, given the larger pool size here. So we'll switch it up. I'll be picking for SmackDown, and you'll be picking for Raw.
Okay. So on Friday when we did our original mock draft, we didn't know a whole lot of the rules going on, just kind of what they posted on .com. So as we saw on SmackDown, the way the draft went was Raw got 3 picks, SmackDown got 2, and they alternated each round. So they did Raw, SmackDown, Raw, in the order of picking. So we didn't do that the last time, but we'll do that in this draft. So other than that, night 1 of the draft went pretty well, I thought. I think we got a lot of the picks right in the first 2 rounds. After that, it kind of went downhill a little bit. So I'm kind of feeling confident going into night 2 of the draft.
Well, I would say through the 3 rounds they did, and with the bonus picks, we had a lot of the same names that WWE themselves drafted. Yeah. They were just in different order. Some were in different rounds, some were on different shows. And that was just based off of how we did our picks for the draft breakdown. But overall, I think we did well as far as setting the stage for who we thought was going to get drafted, which they did. And it'll kind of look the same way this time for night 2. And, unfortunately, we did 3 rounds, they did 5. So there were more names called on draft night on the actual show than what we gave you guys on the podcast here. But we'll go ahead and keep it simple and just stick to the 3 rounds given our format that we use Friday night. So it's the same basis. So again, there'll be more names called out tomorrow night during the draft itself on the show, but I think we'll go 3 rounds with a bonus pick just like we did Friday night.
Yeah, and Friday night there were still a few names left over that were undrafted. Being Mickey James, Shorty G, Chad Gable, Grand Metalik, and Lynn Storado. I think we'll still leave them out since they're technically free agents right now. We'll just stick to the list that WWE has given out and what Fox Sports referenced as well. So whoever we don't draft, there's still going to be a lot. Like Steve said, there's still going to be a lot of other names that will be called tomorrow night on Raw. So yeah, I think we should get this thing started. What do you think?
Let's get it kicked off.
All right. So
Raw is officially on the clock.
I think Raw is going to do their first pick rather quickly, and we're going to go with the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley.
Really? Right out the gate? You're throwing a curveball? You got to be kidding me, man. All right. SmackDown. We're going to keep Bray Wyatt.
Okay. Let's see. I think Raw is going to go with. We're going to go with the Viper, Randy Orton.
All right. And then for SmackDown's second pick of the first round, I'm going to go with oh boy. Well, just because I love the pairing so much, and this is way too early for her name to be called, but give me Alexa Bliss.
But
She will not be called in the first round, but I do think they keep her and Bray Wyatt together on SmackDown.
I hope so, because it only makes sense. For how well it's going right now, I think it'd be stupid for them to break that group up.
Right, absolutely.
And if Raw does draft one or the other, I hope the other one, they both go together, that they both end up getting drafted at the same time.
All right, what's your last pick for the first round for Raw?
I think we're going to go with Charlotte Flair.
All right, so based off of this, Raw has no women's division. Because you have Sasha Banks, you have Charlotte Flair, you have Bayley, all on SmackDown. If this was to work out the way you have it set up, or I'm sorry, you're drafting for Raw, I'm drafting for SmackDown. I'm confusing myself. All right. So your big curveball is Bayley. Why do you think Bayley's going to get drafted to Raw?
I think that right now they need to split her and Sasha Banks up, because if they don't, I don't think we're going to see the payoff that we want, especially the payoff that you want at WrestleMania. I think if they keep them together, then it's just going to be too much for them to keep tempting everybody that they're just going to throw the match together. And I don't know if they're for Survivor Series this year, if it's going to be like the normal Raw versus SmackDown and maybe versus NXT, or if they're just going to go normal pay-per-view route this year. So let's say it is Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT again. Then that means the next pay-per-view after that is TLC, and I don't want to see it just thrown onto TLC. I'd rather wait for Rumble or for WrestleMania. So I think if you separate them, that gives a little bit of time to play it out again.
I can't knock it. We'll see how it pans out here. So, not a bad first round. Like I said, my SmackDown, my first round, they're not gonna go Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, but I just did it because I want to see them stay together. There's no reason to break them two up.
Yeah, I don't know if Alexa's gonna get. I don't think she's gonna get drafted first round unless they would happen to draft them as a pair. Right now, they're not listed as a pair, but doesn't mean things couldn't change by tomorrow. But if they're separate, I could see Bray going first round.
Bray, Bray. I think Bray's absolutely going to be, whoever Raw takes with that first pick. I think SmackDown comes right in and takes him.
Yeah.
If Raw doesn't, who knows? Maybe they move him to Raw.
They might.
They might, but we'll see. It'll be interesting, but he'll definitely go one or two in my eyes for sure.
I agree.
All right, so round 2 for Raw.
All right, I'm going to kick things off for the second round with Kevin Owens.
You son of a bitch. You stole my pick. What are you playing? You friends with Ryan Satin again?
I am. You may have been talking the whole day, tweeting back and forth.
All right. SmackDown. Me, Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
He's been off TV for a while. Has been working more in the creative role. Him and Bree just sold their house recently.
Oh, really?
So they're on the move. I'm not sure where to, but they sold their Arizona home. So not that that's a sign of things to come. Like it's not a tell saying, oh, he sold his home. So it's not like an NBA player selling their home in the off season and moving somewhere else. And but yeah, I'll go with Daniel Bryan. I love to see him back on TV again and starting things up. So I think he could be great babyface to Roman further on down the line. That with the way Roman's going, and then you have him and Seth. or you can put him in the. I know the IC title's not drafted yet, but if that belt remains on SmackDown because the US title's on Raw with the Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley, he can be in that IC title picture as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's very versatile. He can be wherever you need him to be. I think for the second pick of round 2, Raw is going to go with Keith Lee.
Yeah, I think he stays on Raw.
Yeah.
I don't see him moving.
He'll probably end up getting thrown into the Retribution storyline somehow, I'm sure.
And then since, as we saw on the show, the New Day got drafted to Raw, Kofi Kingston and Woods, I'm going to take the Street Profits here and bring them over to SmackDown.
All right. When I was originally looking over this list, and if we were going to keep Raw and SmackDown, they were going to be on my list for SmackDown too. So I can see that happening, especially with Bianca being drafted over already.
All right, last pick for round 2 for Raw.
I think Raw's last pick is going to go with Natalya.
Stacking up the women tonight like I did on Friday, huh?
Got to have some type of division. And I mean, hey, I think she's really like the standard for the women's division. She's very talented. You know, might not always have the best creative, but she knows what to do in the ring.
She definitely doesn't get her flowers. To me, she's the women's version of Cesaro.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Amazing worker, can have a good match with anybody. Doesn't matter storyline wise or not, is going to go out there and perform and put on a good match regardless.
Yeah.
So I would compare them two as being of the cut from the same cloth.
And whenever it was her, Cesaro, and Tyson Kidd, you know, whenever they were the tag team and tag team champions, I mean, that was a great pairing. That was the epitome of that group, were people that were so talented in the ring, but just never got their just due in the company.
Didn't get the flowers they deserved. All right, moving along much faster than what we did on Friday night.
Yeah. So let's see. Raw first pick of round 3. We were just talking about them, so let's go with it. I'm going to take Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. They're being drafted as a team.
Not a bad pick there to move them over.
Yeah. I think they might end up staying on SmackDown, but you can do anything with those two guys. They just need to be given more time.
All right. SmackDown, give me Aleister Black.
Okay. Moving along for Raw, the second pick. I'm going to stack another tag team, and I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
You know WWE does not believe in tag teams, right?
I do.
And all your drafting is drafted is tag teams.
And again, for both teams, like as good as they are, they can be as a tag team. I think Nakamura and Cesaro are a better tag team than what Ziggler and Roode were, and I don't like that they're drafting Ziggler and Roode together. Because I think all four of them could just be standalone guys and, you know, really be the mid-card, you know, title for whether it be United States or Intercontinental.
All right. Well, round 3, SmackDown. In this scenario, I'm going to take him, but I believe he's not going to be on SmackDown after tomorrow night. Give me Braun Strowman. I think Braun's going over to Raw.
I think there's a very good chance Bray and Braun could both be going over to Raw. It kind of seems like they need to hit that refresh button for Drew McIntyre already. Unfortunately, it's almost like he's run out of people.
Yeah.
All right, final pick for Raw. I think I'm gonna go with Nikki Cross.
All right. All right. Who you got for your bonus pick for Raw?
You know what? I'll let you do the first bonus.
So I know you took the other half of the couple on Raw, and WWE nowadays likes to keep couples together. So,
I think I know where you're going.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Give me Selena Vega.
Okay. So break up the group a little bit.
And again, I'm gonna circle. It's gonna circle back to WWE keeping couples together because she's married to Aleister Black.
Okay. I always forget about that.
I think with her, what she's done lately with Asuka, she's great on the mic. She can be put into a feud for sure. So I'll go ahead and go with Zelina Vega. I think she has potential to go places. Some of the, as far as just other thoughts going into tomorrow night, not official picks and whatnot. We'll go. Give me your bonus pick first before I get into a little bit of a in the weeds, as Eric Bischoff likes to say.
Were you going to go with Andrade? Was he going to be your first bonus pick?
I was going to go with Andrade. Yeah, I was.
That's what I was thinking.
I think he did. I think he's like Aleister Black. Give him a fresh coat of paint, new setting. Put him on SmackDown. Get him away from Angel Garza and go that route. So.
Andrade is on my list, and I was thinking about going with him, but I think for my bonus pick, I'm going to go with Peyton Royce.
All right. So Chris is literally taking the entire women's division and just throwing it on Raw and tag teams. So you'll see a lot of women's matches and a lot of tag team matches on Raw if Chris's draft holds true.
They got 3 hours to fill.
I agree with you. I think Peyton Royce, she's going to be due for a big push here. At least that was the rumor. Don't really know if her and Billie Kay are actually split up because we saw them kind of back together again. So
yeah,
I don't know.
The rumor is that Vince wants to push Peyton, but
yeah, it will be interesting to see how the women actually shake up after tomorrow night and free agents. Like I said, with the whole couples thing, if we're looking at this in that sense, then Carmella stays on SmackDown with her and Graves being together. Bianca Belair got drafted to SmackDown on Friday, so to me that means the Street Profits are going to move over because her and Montez Ford are married. So you guys can go through these pools, and you can, if you know who the couples are, you can kind of see where those people are going to go after tomorrow night. It'll shake out more. That's your hint. That's your little Easter egg. If you're a Marvel fan and you watch the Marvel movies for Easter eggs, the couples of WWE, that's your Easter egg. The first night of the draft, go back and look and see who got drafted to which brand, and then their significant other will join them tomorrow night or as a free agent.
And, usually when the draft first started years ago, they didn't care about that. they broke up tag teams, they broke up, real life couples, married, or dating, whatever. Like they just pick the person. Now they seem to be a little more sympathetic to that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. What do you think's going to be? We had our shocking moment with New Day being split up on Friday night. Do you see any potential shocking moment from the draft tomorrow night on Raw?
Right now, no. I don't see that power in here. I think the only one that might shock me would be if they would break up the Street Profits, but I don't see that happening. That would be, I think, the only one that would really shock me, because looking at the list, so many of these, like I said, the tag teams between like Ziggler and Rude and Nakamura and Cesaro, they're really great singles competitors. So if they split them up, I'm perfectly fine with that. They don't need to be a tag team. Other than that, the only groups on here are Retribution and Street Profits, and neither one of us have any care about Retribution.
Notice neither one of us drafted Retribution.
Yeah.
So with night 2 being tomorrow night on Raw, will this get you to tune into the show to actually watch and see where the picks go, or will you just kind of follow along on Twitter?
Only because Raw has been so bad. I'm probably going to tune in for the first round and just see who gets drafted. After that, there's a good chance I'll probably just tune out and follow along on Twitter. But we'll see if they keep my interest if I tune in at the beginning and see what they have on deck.
Yeah, I mean, there's Monday Night Football on, obviously, tomorrow night. You have the Chargers and the Saints, so that'll be on. NBA's wrapping up tonight. Well, they're playing Game 6 tonight. Apparently, the Lakers are up big at halftime, so it looks to be that'll be a wrap-up. You'll have Major League Baseball playoffs, the NLCS and the ALCS. I'm not sure who plays tomorrow night, but they both series may start tomorrow night. I didn't look to see the schedule. I know they play like 7 consecutive days in a row. So, but yeah, we'll see.
One surprise that I'm surprised that was left on the board is the Intercontinental Championship didn't get drafted by either one of us.
So I wanted to take Sami Zayn, and I do think Zayn stays on SmackDown.
Me too.
I was going to go with him in round 2, but I went with Daniel Bryan instead. Okay. Just as I don't want to say a bigger name, but I went with Bryan just because he hasn't been on TV for a while, and not necessarily that he's been forgotten, but the rule of thumb, if you're not on TV, out of sight, out of mind, right? So sometimes people forget that he's actually still a active performer and an active superstar. He's not just on the creative team.
I actually don't even remember the last time he was on.
I don't either. It's been forever. I know with them having the other, their second child, and that it took time off, I guess, given the pandemic and not wanting to be around, with everything going on with that. So, like I said, we'll see if he starts getting back in the mix here soon, whether it be continuing his role backstage, helping out with the creative, or if he gets back on TV. I'd like to see him get back on TV. We missed out on a couple years there, his career, whenever he was dealing with the head injury stuff. So hopefully he can come back and get on a nice run again.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind if he just came back for Royal Rumble this year and then was there through WrestleMania again. Maybe you have a nice like part-time contract deal now, kind of like Edge, come back when you're needed, but not be on every week. Because I'd rather see his career have the longevity it deserves than him wrestle every week and shorten the career by a few years.
So the one shock that I'll go with tomorrow night.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar shows up. Not sure what brand he gets drafted to, but the Beast incarnate will be back, and that will be a shakeup to either show.
Yeah. Okay. He was Was he
It's
last
it's a
on
long
Raw?
shot. It's a long shot because he's still up in Canada, and
Yeah.
we know all the logistics with not being able to get across the border and everything that you got to do. Going from Canada to the States and then going from the States back into Canada. So Brock may not even want to do that, but there's no reason why he can't show up, via satellite. Maybe a nice little, last pick of the 5th round. You have Roman and Paul Heyman out in the ring, and you get that image of Lesnar popping up on the screen. I know you don't want to see it again because it's been Roman and Brock, and it's like, but again, something that'll get people talking and give some intrigue as to what may happen. And Brock started out on SmackDown, so why not bring him back home to the brand where it all started for him?
That's true. I mean, I think that could be really interesting to see, if Brock would come back while Paul is with Roman. I don't see Paul creating, his own family again. So I think it would be more of where does his allegiance really lie? Is it with Roman or is it with Brock? And,
yeah,
that could be
like I
said, Paul
say, that's a long shot. If I had to put money down, I would say Lesnar would probably come back Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Time, big time pay-per-view, but again, you never know. Vince may be able to pull that rabbit out of his hat again. Don't know where his contract stands, if he signed a new deal yet, because I know it ran out there. So he may be content just being up in Canada and hunting and fishing and doing all the stuff he does up there and hanging out, in the woods by himself.
It's always seemed like is exactly what he wants. So,
yeah, I mean, Bobby Lashley talking up. He wants Lesnar, whether it's in a shoot fight or a pro wrestling match. It was the one thing he wanted to do when he signed back with WWE. I know as soon as I saw Lashley re-sign, I immediately put him with Brock, but they never went that way for whatever reason. So, I'm interested to see what will happen.
I guarantee Vince doesn't care about that match, and that's the reason why they haven't done it. Because, Vince doesn't care about anything but WWE, so it's like he doesn't care like what they do on the outside. It's not. He doesn't feel like that elevates their character. It's just he sees big money in them. And that's the thing. If he doesn't see big money in that match, he's not going to do it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's night 2 of the draft here, folks, from the Dumb Marks podcast. Wrapping it up here. Just to recap, SmackDown round 1, I went with Bray Wyatt and Sister Bliss. Round 2, Daniel Bryan, Street Profits. Round 3, Aleister Black and Braun. Chris went with Bayley, Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair, round 1. Kevin Owens, he stole my pick. In round 2, Keith Lee, Natalya. And in round 3, the Artis, Nakamura, and Shinsuke. Or I'm sorry, Cesaro and Shinsuke, Dolphin Rude, and then Nikki Cross.
And then bonus was Peyton Royce.
Bonus was Peyton Royce, and my bonus was Selena Vega for SmackDown. Again, subscribe, rate, review, leave comments. What you like, what you didn't like, let us know. And even shoot us a comment and let us know whether or not you're actually going to tune in to Raw this week. We'll see what the numbers do, if they'll actually increase in viewership because the draft's going on, or if people are just like, I'll check the Twitter machine and follow along there.
Definitely possible. I could see that.
Who knows? If Retribution is the first pick, I'm immediately turning it off. I can tell you that much.
I thought about picking Ali just to pick him, not Retribution, but with it just happening, we're not going to get lucky like that.
Yeah, they'll stay on Raw. They're not going to take them off Raw.
Mm-mm.
So, like I said, go back in for your Easter eggs, follow up real life couples. You'll figure out who's going where with that Easter egg tip from us. And, listen to the episode 6 of the Dumb Marks podcast, which will also drop tomorrow. Good episode there. Got into a lot of stuff from the world of wrestling and sports. Good drink of the week segment. So by all means, check us out there where you can find all your podcasts and downloads. And then also you can reach us on the Dumbmarks email address at dumbmarkspod@gmail.com. And that's dumbmarkspod@gmail.com. Any last thoughts, Chris, before we sign off for the evening?
I'm looking forward to seeing, how we fare again in night 2 of the draft. I thought we did pretty well in night 1, so hopefully we continue our luck.
Night 2 is like rounds 4 through 7 at the NFL draft. We're not going to get anything right.
Probably not.
All right. That's all I got for tonight, folks. Enjoy the show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll check you around the way.